being used for some amazing fitness benefits and has been adopted by professional athletes and trainers. I also found out that athletes like UFC fighter Jeremy Stevens, director of Spot and Race Joe DeStefano, and Ben Greenfield, who's been named #1 fitness trainer in America, most likely because I didn't have my name entered in that thing. They were all using red light therapy to get the most out of their bodies in terms of performance and recovery. And it made me think that there's maybe something here that I'm missing. So I started digging more, and I was surprised to find that instead of unearthing a fad with little science to support it, there was actually an impressive amount of research that demonstrated clear benefits in terms of peak performance, muscle recovery, and recovering from injuries, just to name a few. Now, the question you may be asking, and I know this because it was my question too, is how the hell can light do all of this? Well, it turns out that our cells contain mitochondria, and that is essentially the engine of our cells, and the cells that make up muscle tissue have a particularly high concentration of mitochondria that is responsible for virtually all cellular functions, such as ATP production, reducing oxidative stress, and even repairing muscle tissue. For those of you who've seen my videos on creatine, and I'll link to one down in the info section below, the term ATP production should be very familiar to you. Remember that supplementing with more creatine essentially supercharges the ATP to ADP back to ATP cycle to provide your muscle cells with more energy and power output. But how is this related? Well, getting back to red light therapy, scientists have discovered that the mitochondria that is bountiful in your muscle tissue responds to specific wavelengths of red and infrared light with increased function. And when given the right amount of these specific wavelengths, the resulting enhanced cellular function produces measurable results. One study randomly divided participants into separate groups for an 8-week training period. One group received a red light treatment before every training session, while the other group did the same training but without the light treatment. They found that the group receiving the light therapy had improvements in muscle growth 50% greater